Your 20s are a pivotal decade in your life. They're when many people transition from teens to adults, make major life decisions, and start planning for the future. While the 20s are a great time to explore, grow, and learn, they're also a time when you're likely to make a lot of mistakes, some of which can have lasting effects. Here, we'll break down 20 common mistakes you can make in the 20s that will help you make better decisions and set yourself up for success in the years ahead. Number 1. Don't stress about what you're supposed to do. Some people fall into the right career at the right time, but most don't, which is okay. Don't spend too much time worrying about what you should do, experiment as much as possible. Act before you think too much. It's time to try things out and see what works best for you. Number 2. Not developing lifelong connections. This is not the same as having a large social media presence, such as a TikTok account or an Instagram account. Rather, I am referring to the development of a personal network, which can be used to reach out to prospective clients and employers. It is important to be proactive in order to avoid becoming part of the resume queue for job creation. To avoid this, it is beneficial to reach out to job seekers through one's network. Additionally, it is important to establish a habit of networking with interesting people in the early stages. Number 3. Sidelining your inclinations. Rather than spending all day in front of the television, it is time to engage in activities that excite you and come from a part of your personality that cannot be explained. Take advantage of your thoughts about how cool it'd be to do this. For example, you may have had the idea of learning woodwork, developing an app, or mastering the bassoon. Don't be afraid to pursue your interests and explore these little pockets of insight. This is where your true genius lies. Number 4. Investing in regrettable commitments. Be very cautious about committing to long-term commitments such as marriage, a mortgage, children, or even a long-term relationship. If you make the wrong choice, you could be locked up for decades. Be conscious of your choices and think carefully before committing to anything. Your first priority should be freedom and lasting happiness. Number 5. Poor physical exercise habits. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that everyone else is just as lazy and unhealthy as you are. But when you work out regularly, everything changes. It's essential and the key to living a healthier, more energized life. Number 6. Inadequate preparation for location independence. We're in a period where being tied down to one place will cause you trouble in the future. We can be more flexible if we set up our lives this way. You don't want to end up stuck in an unstable place when you could have the freedom to move. Number 7. Not educating yourself about personal finance and investing. When asked to identify the source of their greatest stress, individuals of all ages tend to place money at the top of the list. To gain a competitive edge, it is important to learn how to manage one's finances from a young age. Number 8. Watching porn. Stay away from this stuff like it's a virus. If you get into the habit of using this high-stimulating substance, you could end up with all sorts of issues like broken relationships, low libido, depression, stress, and a feeling of being off balance. Get rid of it now and your life will be different. Number 9. Slipping into poor thought patterns. I would have been able to avoid difficulty if I had been able to develop a method of thinking that enabled me to maintain a state of equilibrium for the majority of my life. Unfortunately, many of us have developed unhealthy habits of thought. We employ fear as a form of life management. We take our thoughts too seriously when in fact we should be releasing them. Thoughts of stress will make us weak. Number 10. Accumulating debt. It is essential to avoid incurring debt unless one is prudent with it and utilizes the good debt to construct their business. Debt can be a financial burden and can lead to ongoing stress that can restrict one's creativity. If one has debt, it is important to prioritize resolving it as soon as possible. Number 11. Not developing writing as a lifelong skill. One of the most beneficial habits I adopted during my 20s was consistent writing, including journaling. This practice helped to cultivate my self-assurance and provided me with a variety of benefits, including the opportunity to speak internationally, an expanding audience, a variety of books and courses to market, and invaluable clients. Number 12. Not fixing your social anxiety. If you experience an excessive level of fear towards others, it is recommended to use the course of one's 20s to gain insight into this phenomenon. It is important to be exposed to what you are afraid of and to practice in order to reduce the fear. This is not a matter of personality, as no one is naturally born with it. It is a matter of practice. Number 13. Not building a portfolio of creative assets. Shift your focus from career to building assets. Assets are assets that hold value, provide stability, generate leverage, and generate cash flow. Design skills, textbooks, courses, speaking experience, newsletters, and YouTube videos are assets that are monetizable. These assets will attract people to you and provide long-term stability to your business. Number 14. Spending valuable time with losers. It is advisable to abstain from engaging with individuals who are known to drain one's energy and make one feel unwell. There are numerous individuals who can provide one with a stimulating and enriching experience, and it is not beneficial to be surrounded by such individuals. Number 15. Not planning aside any money for investment. I regret not having prioritized investing sooner. Compounding is a powerful tool that can benefit you in numerous ways over time. By investing early, you can have your finances in order by the time you reach your 30s. Number 16. Not mastering at least one high-income skill. Becoming a self-taught designer in my 20s and building a worldwide company from the ground up was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I am now able to use that skill to pay my bills whenever I want. It also taught me how to build clients, how to run a business, and how to communicate with people. Number 17. Investing too much time and money into formal education. I had a blast at university, but it wasn't mandatory. I studied geography and then real estate. Some jobs don't require a degree, but most don't. A lot of people waste a ton of money on college when they could have been learning their own skills online. My whole career has been built on free online learning. Number 18. Trying to impress loved ones. The majority of individuals make decisions based on the desire to please others, rather than their own well-being. This is a misconception. It is important to be mindful of one's own happiness. If one is not content, the world will suffer. Therefore, it is essential to prioritize one's own well-being. Number 19. Not traveling often. It is important to make the most of your youth when it comes to travel. Particularly when it comes to rough types of travel such as backpacking. The 20s are an ideal time to explore different cultures and become accustomed to the exciting challenges that travel presents. However, it is important to ensure that you do not create a situation in which you will not be able to travel in the future. Number 20. Downplaying your spiritual growth. The earlier one understands the spiritual realm, the more resilient they will become. Mental fortitude for me cannot be achieved without a comprehension of consciousness and our interconnectedness to the universe. At the end of the day, your 20s are going to be one of the best years of your life. You're going to go through a lot of growth and change, and it's going to be exciting and full of possibilities. But it's also going to be a time when you're not sure what's right and what's wrong. Follow these tips and be intentional about your decisions and actions throughout your 20s, and you'll be well on your way to a future full of possibilities. Don't lose sight of what's important to you. Keep an open mind and be curious. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't ever be afraid to learn and grow. Your 20s are your best years, make the most of them. Thanks for watching. Do well to like and subscribe to this channel for more quality content.